What's going on, guys? Man, I'm really excited for this game tonight. Really excited for this game tonight. If you guys are going to be watching, we will be on stream. If you guys want to come in and hang and chat and react with us to the game, we will be there 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be there all game long. Me and Brendan will be in there today. But, man, I'm excited, man. As an Eagles fan, I'm looking forward to this game for a couple reasons. Obviously, over the last couple games, it's been very bad. A lot going on in the locker room as far as guys speaking out on how bad the energy is on the sidelines. They're bringing in positivity rabbits, inflatable rabbits into the Eagles locker room to spread some positivity. They're pulling out all the desperate measures, man, but you've seen it in the past. In 2021, Nick Sirianni's flower speech that had me confused. They went on a run and won 5 straight games after that. And in 24, Nick shaved his head, and they went on a run after that. I mean, I don't know if that rabbit's going to have anything to do with the Eagles doing anything today. But, if it does, best believe that there's going to be a lot of inflatable rabbits in Philly and New Jersey. So, yeah, man, but as far as football-wise, I think that this game is extremely important. Obviously, for both teams, the Chargers, a couple games out from the division, have a chance to kind of pull closer with a win. And the Eagles, they need this win. This is the most needed win for the Eagles this season. I think this is the most important game of the season. They've, up until today, throughout the last week since Black Friday, they've basically been talking a lot, man. They've been saying a lot of changes are made, and Nick Sirianni's more involved in the offense this week for preparation. So let's see how that's going to go. Saquon Barkley speaking out, saying a lot of things. Jordan Mailata saying that they've added a lot of stuff in the run game that's going to be new that we haven't seen so far this year. Now, I don't know if this is all player speak and, just lip service and whatever the case is, but if this game isn't any different to what the last 2 games have been, it's going to be hard for me to get excited over the last stretch of the season going into the playoffs, because if they're not going to fix it by now, they're not going to fix it before the playoffs start. And this is just going to be what the team is going to be the rest of the season. So, yeah, man, as far as what the Eagles got going on, let's see. I don't think anybody's going to be out today. There's no one that's going to be, at least on the injury report, there's no one that's going to be out outside of Lane Johnson, which obviously, yes, is a big important piece. Fred Johnson has not played bad, though, when filling in for Lane Johnson since last year. On the defensive side of the ball, Andrew Makuba, obviously, as we know, is done for the season. Marcus Epps could get the start at that second safety spot opposite of Reed Blankenship. Don't know who's going to get the start at cornerback 2. I'm assuming, let's see if they go with Jacorian Bennett. Let's see what happens there. But yeah, man, there's just a lot. There's a lot. As far as the defense goes, to me, I'm not necessarily concerned about the defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be, what am I going to get from the offense? What is going to happen with the offense? And I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the offense. It could be a game like the Minnesota Vikings where Jalen had a perfect passer rating, or it could be a game that we saw in Black Friday that was one of the worst offensive performances that I've seen from this team in a long time. And as for the Chargers, like I said, they're a couple of games behind for the division. The Chiefs have already been mathematically eliminated from division contention. They're still they still have hopes for the playoffs, but the Chargers definitely need this win today if they want to have a shot at the division. And obviously for seeding, it's going to matter. The Chargers definitely want to host a playoff game if they can. But as far as the Chargers go, I haven't heard much as far as their injury report goes. I think their starters are going to be healthy. Obviously, Joe Alt's not available, but Justin Herbert has been dealing with a finger issue. I think he had surgery actually after the last game, but they still say he's going to go today. There's no report that Trey Lance is going to start, and Justin Herbert said he's going to go. So full strength for the Chargers. Let's see how much of an issue that injury is for him today. We're going to see, but I think this is going to be a very entertaining game, man. I think this is going to be a very, very good game. I can't really even see if it's going to be a low-scoring game or if it's going to be a high-scoring game. At very minimum, the Eagles, for me to feel good, offensively need to put up at least 28 points. At the very minimum, need to put up 28 points. They can't go another game, and even if they win and put up 17, win 17-10 or something like 17-14 and expect me to feel good. This is a game, after all the stuff that you've talked all week long, you need to come out here and have a really, really, really solid performance for 4 quarters. Not just talking about 2 drives to start the game. I'm not just talking about a drive outside of halftime or just 1 quarter or wait to the second half to turn up. No, you need 4 quarters of solid football, offense, defense, special teams. There is no room right now for error. And you have a chance to solidify the division between this week, next week against the Las Vegas Raiders, and against the Washington Commanders. So 3 very, very, very winnable games that can pretty much seal you the division, guarantee you a home playoff game, and still keep you in contention for that number 2 and number 1 seed. Right now, Eagles are sitting at 3. With the Bears loss yesterday, the Rams go back up to number 1. Packers are sitting at 2, so they hold the tiebreaker over the Packers, so they could finish in that 2 seed, which they were the 2 seed last year when they went to the Super Bowl. So the NFC and the AFC completely wide open, if you ask me. A lot to really talk about there. We're definitely going to do a live stream this week talking about it. It's so hard to predict who's going to go to the Super Bowl. It's so hard to predict really who's the best team in each conference because every single team has flaws. The Rams have been playing well most of the season offensively, but their secondary is definitely suspect. And you saw it last week against Carolina. They need to put up points to win. Their defensive line is very good. But then you look at the Eagles. Offensively, they struggle. When you look at the Bears, offensively as well, they struggle. Defensively, they're not as good. They're tough, but they're not as good. They rank 28 in defense. The Packers, what kind of Jordan Love's been playing well over the last month, but what kind of Jordan Love are you going to get come playoff time? Their defense, elite, but that offense leaves a lot to be desired because of Jordan Love. You don't know if you can trust him come playoff time, truthfully. And then look at the other teams. Detroit, you don't know what you're going to get from Jared Goff in that offense. Dan Campbell has taken over play calling duties, and it hasn't looked the same since Ben Johnson has left. And when they play tough competition, you don't know what you're going to get from them. The Bucs have been on a skid, and Carolina's competing for that division right now. It's very tough. And when you look at the AFC, unfortunately, to me, it looks like the Colts season is over with. It's very unfortunate what happened to Daniel Jones yesterday with the torn Achilles. I feel for him. I was really rooting for him because, obviously when he was a Giant, I'm not a fan of the Giants and I can't stand the Giants, but I always thought, I was like, maybe let's see what he can give you if he goes into another situation. And I thought going with the Colts to Shane Steichen was the perfect situation for him. And man, it's just tough. It's tough when a situation like that where the team is now sitting at the 7th seed in the AFC and could very well lose out the rest of the year because of the quarterback play. You don't know. Anthony Richardson's on injury reserve. Riley Leonard is probably going to be your starter moving forward. You don't know what you're going to get from him. And it's a tough situation for Indianapolis. And then Patriots have been playing very well, but they haven't played any tough competition all year long. The Bengals just pretty much, in my opinion, lost their shot to try to get the division. The Ravens have been bad. Steelers are mid. Buffalo has been had a really great win yesterday against the Bengals. That was a solid win for them, but also very inconsistent. Denver, to me, if I had to pick one team from the AFC that I'm like, all right, to me, Denver is the team that I'd pick because how great that defense is. And do not sleep on the Houston Texans. I'm not a fan of their offense. I think their offense leaves a lot to be desired. C.J. Stroud has not played the best. But that defense is going to keep you in every single game. And if C.J. Stroud can just be a game manager, kind of be Seahawks Russell Wilson-esque, not turn the football over, kind of lean on the run game a little bit with Willie Marks and get the ball to Nico Collins on 3rd down, the Houston Texans are going to be a very, very tough out in the playoffs, in my opinion, if they get in. They need to still get in. But they very well could with the Indianapolis Colts situation now. And, yeah, man, I think that it's going to be very, very exciting over the next 4 weeks to see how this thing is all going to play out. I don't know where the seeding is going to be. You don't know what the matchups are going to be. Anybody can play anybody at any time, and anyone can beat anyone at any time. So I think this is going to be the most interesting playoff in recent memory for me, that I've seen over the last few years, because it's pretty much been the Chiefs dominating. They'll get to the Super Bowl, at least to the AFC Championship game, and it's a toss-up between Buffalo and the Ravens and Bengals. So, now there's so many teams that are there competing for a spot to hoist the Lombardi. So it's going to be very, very fun, man. So, again, tune in tonight. Eagles at Chargers. Very, very good game coming. Monday Night Football. We'll be here. We'll be there 8 p.m. live Eastern on YouTube. Click the link is already up, so you guys can, hit the notification bell as well. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hopefully see you guys tonight. See you.